So I noticed in every one of my couples boudoir sessions that the same 5 poses always end up in the album. So we're gonna walk through today the top 5 boudoir couple photos that always end up in my albums and how you can recreate the same thing in your studio. If you're new here, then you haven't seen the first few videos, that's fine. 3 of these poses are actually in those prior videos. So I am gonna add 5 new ones today to kind of walk you through different poses and why they are always the best sellers. The one that ends up in every album, no matter what, or even as most guys' screensavers, is the pose where the girl is on her knees, standing in front of him. Usually she has her hands on his hips. His hands are controlling her hair, as you can see here. Why is this the best seller? Well, it's kind of obvious, right? Because the guy's getting exactly what he wants in this photo. This is all basically insinuating something's happening, and it's not. But this one always is within the first 3 spreads of the album, no matter what. And 9 times out of 10, also his screensaver on his phone. So add this one to your repertoire. All I have him do is basically stand there, and I have her on her knees facing him. Make sure her butt's pushed back a little bit so her ribs are lifted up nice and high. By this time, he's probably like unbuckled his jeans or whatever. Put her hands on his, like the edge of the jeans, and then basically I tell her to tease him and see how he reacts, and then he gets to control with his hands in her hair. The second pose in this one also is very basic. I did explain it in the other ones vaguely, but this variation always ends up in the albums. It's kind of like the undressing series. So I will do it from both ends of the spectrum. People love it because it makes sense to the story arc, which is what we're walking through here on my channel. But it is when you're taking off his shirt. So if it's a t-shirt, it's the double hands over the edge kind of thing. And if it is more like a button-up with a tie, it's the pulling out tie situation. Why I think people love this is because if it's the one with a button-up, it's very 50 Shades-y because it involves a tie, and the tie can be used later on in the series, or it is the insinuation of what's to come, but this one sells like hotcakes every single time. Third pose, which can be used in 2 situations, but it's where I have him sitting on the couch, arms wide. She's gonna straddle his lap, normally with her top layer on. This could be a dress or a shirt. She is going to make sure she sits with her butt back, cross her arms, and pull her shirt up and over her head, like you can see here. Whether it's the dress or the shirt, this one always ends up in the album. And then what to do with the next variation of this. So pose number 4, that always ends up in the album. She is still in that same position. She's going to plant her hands back on his knees, lift her ribs up nice and high, and drop her head back to the ceiling. Why this sells, you're gonna see here in a second. Basically, what I'm going to have him do is he can have a feast on her chest. So this is where I allow him to like take her chest out of her bra and tease her and taunt her and drive her insane. Also where I shush my mouth. I'm not correcting, I'm not doing anything. I am letting the moment completely ride out, because the quieter I am, the less they remember I am in the studio, which is good news for me and them. So what you're going to do here is, like I said, the reason this is such a hot seller is the action of it is gonna be good, and it's like spicy without being crazy. So this one every time is in an album, every time. Then, cause she's already straddling his lap, what I'm gonna have her do, like he's sitting like this, she's gonna flip over reverse cowgirl style 180. Then I'm gonna have her slide her legs up the back of the couch like this. She's gonna go face plant on the floor. What she's gonna do is she's gonna be on her forearms for this. And then he has like all of the goodies in his face. So this photo ends up on ice cubes and medals. Like this photo sells hand over fist. I do it in every pose or every session, no matter what. Even if they've done it before, they usually love this photo, or I'll do a variation of it. So I'm gonna pop it there real quick. Basically, what I'm going to do is have him caress the cheeks a little bit. He can pull the bottoms aside. He can put his hand and touch her belly button, because that's what we do. But again, this one, I make so much money off this photo, so please add it to your repertoire. The biggest thing is the window light's coming from the side on that one, so the shadows are like super intense and you can't actually see between her legs. That helps. Bonus pose on that one. You can sell that all over. All right, this is pose number 6 that always ends up in the album. Is I have him laying flat on the floor, and then I have her straddle him. And basically she can pin his hands above his head. She can just lay on him with her chest and kind of like push her hips up to the ceiling. What it's gonna do, he can put his hands on her back, and that detail shot alone every time ends up in a full spread of an album. People love it, love it, love it. I think they like it because it's not like you don't know who it is kind of thing. It's a little bit anonymous, so people love that. If you have a swing, I could make 5 hours about the swing. Those always sell. So please use your swing, not like a gynecologist. Please. Oof. This one also sells all the time, and I kind of touched a little bit on it in the prior posing videos. But pose 7 that sells every time, I know I'm 2 poses over the normal, is basically when she's on her knees looking up at him, and he's like, he might have run his thumb along her finger. He might have ran his thumb along her lips just like this, put his fingers into her mouth. That one, ooh, this one sells every time, because to a man, that is not his fingers in her mouth. So the insinuation of this is a money maker. So if you liked hearing what is the top sellers in my studio, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to walk you through how a whole session works eventually. So you're gonna have to buckle in for a 4-hour journey on that, because that is about how long my couples last. And this can change if I have like a kitchen present. So if I go on destination, I have a kitchen or a pool or a swing or all of this jazz. Tons to come. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and follow me.